Right now, advocates fight through the rain at the Capitol. What they have to say about the use of solitary confinement in the Wisconsin prison system. Also, the state of Wisconsin is making some changes to its driving test. How this may impact your aspiring young drivers. And we're following how you might have felt the pinch at the grocery store. Now, new numbers show it is having an impact on what people are eating. That's all coming up on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. The 23rd of each month, wisdom leaders and others meet up to stand up for people in the Wisconsin prison system, especially for those who are in solitary confinement. Our Mayor Hubbard shows us more from the Capitol this afternoon.
Think about Walmart and Green Bay. They need help.
Sunday, a handful of advocates stood out in the rain calling
solitary confinement is torture
and asking the public to reach out to local lawmakers to make change in the Wisconsin prison system.
We need professionals in there who understand the need for mental health treatment. We need education.
James Morgan has experienced the state's prisons firsthand. In 1983, he was convicted of first-degree sexual assault in Dane County. He says he's currently on parole and that during his time behind bars,
I participated in the other groups that were being offered at that time, volunteers, average everyday citizens who came into that environment and engaged me and talked to me to remind me that at the end of the day that I wasn't invisible, that I did matter, that I did have some qualities and skills that could be beneficial to changing my life for the better.
Now Morgan is the community organizer for Madison, advocating for mental health resources and better conditions for people in prison.
We have people who are incarcerated, who have made poor decisions, who have made mistakes, but they do not deserve to be treated inhumanely.
An advocacy coalition called Unlock the Box released a report showing that more than 122,000 people are locked daily in solitary confinement in U.S. prisons and jails for 22 hours or more a day.
All of us deserve to have an opportunity to live the best lives that we are capable of.
Reporting in Madison, Meryl Hubbard, News 3 Now.
Meryl, thank you. The National Religious Campaign Against Torture is another organization behind the movement where its mission is to find and end what they call inhumane solitary confinement and promote human rights. Well, earlier today, as most of you know, it was raining. Myself actually got pretty wet. Alex, how much rain did we end up getting today?
It was quite appreciable, Jalen, in some areas. This is our rainfall estimate. Again, this is an estimate with our radar tools showing anywhere from a couple of tenths of an inch of water over southwest Wisconsin to as much as an inch in Dane County. And if you look just east of Dane County, just north of I-94 near the Watertown area up towards Beaver Dam, an isolated 2, maybe even approaching 3-inch amount of water. We'll take any drop we can get a little bit later in the newscast. I'm going to show you where we're at with our drought conditions as of late last week. Just letting you know these rains are very beneficial. Radar 3000 right now showing just a few flurries stretching from Camp Douglas east towards Marquette and Green Lake counties. The vast majority of precipitation has really wrapped up across all of southern Wisconsin. We can't rule out a couple of wet snowflakes from Madison and areas to the north overnight, but this is not going to amount to a whole lot. Upper 20s, right around 30, breezy conditions. That certainly is going to stick around for the rest of tonight going on into Monday with temperatures in the lower to middle 40s. We could get closer to 50 in southwest Wisconsin if we can get these clouds to clear up. Coming up in Maine weather, we're going to track the end of the wind and we're going to track when the sun returns on Monday from west to east, and with a mild end to the week, we have a price to pay. We've got some showers on the way and a glimpse at that current drought monitor in just a few minutes.
All right, sounds good, Alex. We'll see you in just a bit. To an update now, the Dane County Sheriff's Office say Anthony Gilbert, who was declared AWOL last Thursday, has been located and is now in the Dane County Jail. Before Sunday, Gilbert was last seen Wednesday afternoon in the area of Mallard Lane in Madison. Gilbert is serving a sentence for obstructing and possession of methamphetamine. The Wisconsin Department of Transportation is now offering students ages 15 to 17 the opportunity to take driver's license knowledge test from home with parental supervision. The knowledge test is a 2-part exam that covers the rules of the road and road signage. The new online version will be available to students who have completed the classroom portion of their training. Wisconsin DMV is joining 11 other states in the online option. The no to drive material of the exam will be consistent with what is conducted at the DMV service centers. You can find more information on that on our website at channel3000.com. This Women's History Month, the View from Here Wellness Collective hosted the Glow and Gather event in an effort to uplift and unite Black women. The event aimed to spur conversations around self-care and mental health, with collective care as a core focus. Organizers say the name of the event spoke to its purpose, with Glow representing the inner light of Black women, and Gather underscoring the importance of community and shared healing.
Honestly, I feel really excited, really hopeful that there are more events like this to celebrate Black women and just honor us. I think consistently there's always this narrative that we're struggling or we're sad, and sometimes you have joy too. And I want us to feel that at this event today.
In the spirit of giving back, guests assembled care packages to give essential professional care and personal care products to women facing housing insecurity. By now, I'm sure some of you have felt the pinch at the grocery store. New numbers show it is having an impact on what people are eating. CBS's Elise Preston reports from Los Angeles.
Grocery shoppers are experiencing sticker shock on store shelves, while poultry, pork, and milk saw average prices decline from January to February. The cost of other pantry staples like cereals, baked goods, and seafood increased. The overall food at home index rose nearly 2% over the last 12 months. That's a key measure of inflation based on food consumed at home. Mark Sandy is the chief economist for Moody's Analytics.
Are we expecting food prices to rise even more?
Yeah, I think so. Every year they're rising about 2%, which is pretty close to the overall rate of inflation. We're all should buckle in here and expect food prices to continue to rise at a healthy pace.
Egg prices alone are nearly 59% higher than they were this time last year. The cost of beef up more than 7.5% since February 2024. Fed Chair Jerome Powell acknowledged the impact it's having on consumers.
They're unhappy, and they're not wrong to be unhappy that prices went up quite a bit, and they're paying a lot for those things.
That's apparently forcing Americans to cut back on their favorite treats. General Mills, Smucker's, and Campbell's are among companies reporting a drop in snack sales.
If you have to pay more for food and you're a low middle income household without much or any savings, you got to make some pretty hard choices.
And with those hard choices, Zandy says shop for the best deals. Elise Preston, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Coming up next on News 3 Now, Alex returns with a complete look of your first one forecast. But first, town halls nationwide continue to be tense as constituents have tough conversations with their local lawmakers. Plus, items from some of your favorite movies may be up for grabs. Find out which ones after the break.
Watching News 3 Now at 10.
Thank you for staying with us. Anger is in the air from small towns to the nation's capital. Voters are venting their frustrations and lawmakers are facing backlash. As town halls erupt into heated debates, one thing is clear. Americans have something to say. CBS's Nicole Killian has the story.
From Washington State to just outside of Washington, D.C.
Be disruptive!
Red states and blue states.
Ma'am, I'm not taking orders from you.
Are speaking out.
Let's remain calm.
The town hall tensions have been bubbling for weeks.
Hi.
We were backstage with Democrats April McLean Delaney and Jamie Raskin for a town hall in her central Maryland district.
What are you hearing from constituents?
Well, I think that people are frustrated, and I'm frustrated and furious along with them because, I represent a lot of government workers.
They fielded pre-submitted questions on government funding and cuts. Christine Stafford hoped to get one in person.
There's no plan that they put together for us to say what they're doing.
What would you like to see?
More anger, more frustration.
What do you say to Democratic voters who feel like Democrats aren't doing enough to stand up to the Trump administration?
Well, what I say is I tell them what I am doing. I'm going to rallies. I'm, signing on to legislation.
But do you think that's enough?
No. I'm really also pushing on our third branch of government, the courts.
A reminder, you have to check in.
Crowds overflowed at North Carolina Representative Chuck Edwards' town hall this month.
telling people to kill Musk, to kill Trump, that's not a fair dialogue.
GOP lawmakers, one of a few Republicans who went forward with an in-person meeting, despite advice from GOP leaders to go virtual.
Why go against that guidance?
Well, I've always been one to make up my own mind.
All of those are great things.
And he has no regrets.
Will you continue to hold town halls, in-person town halls?
Absolutely. It's some of the most fun I get to have as a congressman.
Nicole Killian, CBS News, Washington.
The U.S. Internal Revenue Service is close to finalizing an agreement with the Department of Homeland Security to help locate migrants suspected of being in the U.S. illegally. According to a person familiar with the matter, the agreement would require Immigration and Customs Enforcement to submit names and addresses of people it suspects of living in the country illegally to the IRS. The tax agency, in turn, would then cross-reference and confirm the information. Laws already prohibit improper disclosure of taxpayer information and would amount to a major shift by the agency. Two immigrant rights groups in Chicago sued the Treasury Department and the IRS earlier this month. The groups asked the judge to block the agency from sharing taxpayers' identifying information with ICE or DHS as Trump pushes for more deportations. And President Trump is escalating his attacks on critics of his controversial immigration agenda. CBS's Nicole Skanga is at the White House with more.
A face-off in a wrestling arena amid a legal battle.
Well, we're continuing with the legal process, but we're also continuing to arrest people.
Top Trump administration officials Sunday doubled down on promises to arrest and detain Venezuelan migrants.
I don't care what that judge thinks. We're going to continue to arrest public safety threats and national security threats.
After transporting more than 200 Venezuelans, including suspected Tren de Aragua gang members, to a high-security prison in El Salvador.
President Trump has determined that this group is acting as a terrorist organization.
On CBS's Face the Nation, National Security Advisor Mike Waltz defended the president's decision to invoke the Alien Enemies Act, a centuries-old wartime power to expedite the removals.
You are saying you have evidence that the government of Venezuela is directing these gangs?
TDA is acting as a proxy of the Maduro regime. This is how the Alien and Sedition Act applied.
Jeffrey Rosen is the president and CEO of the National Constitution Center.
Never before has this act been invoked at a time that we're not in a declared war. And the question is, can the president suddenly decide that we're at war not with Venezuela, but with this criminal gang?
The latest immigration enforcement push comes amid reports the IRS will use tax data to help immigration officials find migrants in the U.S. illegally. Nicole Skanga, CBS News, the White House.
Let's get a look at your first one forecast with the meteorologist, Alex Harrington.
And a rainy day it was across southern Wisconsin. That's what we forecasted for, and a washout across southern Wisconsin, especially for Madison and areas off towards the east. A few tenths in southwest Wisconsin. We said that would probably be where the lighter amounts pan out, and then the heavier amounts Madison and areas to the east. This is a rainfall estimate with our radar product here. This may be just a bit high east of Madison with upwards of 3 inches of water near the Watertown area up towards Beaver Dam, where they also had a little bit of wet snow mix in. Right now, radar 3000 showing maybe a few flurries just north of the Dells right now over towards Camp Douglas, Marquette, and Green Lake counties. But any appreciable amounts of precipitation, that's done. A couple flurries, wet snowflakes we can't rule out north of Madison up towards the Dells and over towards the Beaver Dam area overnight tonight, with temperatures getting down into the upper 20s, right around 30. That's normal for this time of year. Winds will be gusty, though, out of the west and northwest, putting a little bit of that wintry bite in the air, even though officially spring has started. And as we go into Monday, planning our day in the 40s to near 50 degrees, and it's all contingent, meaning it all depends on when the clouds clear out across southern Wisconsin as to how warm we're going to get. That's part of the 3 things you need to finish up with our forecast tonight. That rain-snow mix is ending, a breezy Monday, warmer end to the week with a bit of a price. Future track, again, snow showers are moving out of the area We stay cloudy to start off 6 o'clock in the morning, but look off to the west out towards the Mississippi River. We see that cloud and sun line push towards the east, stretching from the Dells to Madison over towards Janesville by the time we get to 1 o'clock. If we clear out that soon, that will allow those temperatures to get up into the 40s to right around 50 in southwest Wisconsin. Again, snowfall totals just updating here. The far northeast part of Adams County, perhaps just scooting Marquette and Green Lake counties, dusting to maybe an inch with those few leftover wet snowflakes tonight. And the wind staying strong to start off the morning out of the northwest at 40 miles per hour, getting up to around 30 still at 6 o'clock at night. It's not until we get to about this time tomorrow night, going into the early morning hours of Tuesday, that the winds will finally relax across southern Wisconsin. A glimpse at our drought monitor. Not many changes, but what we really need to reinforce is how widespread this dark brown sort of tan color is. That's moderate drought conditions that cover much of southern Wisconsin. The rest of southern Wisconsin is abnormally dry unless you go way to the north up towards Camp Douglas. And that's just a tiny little pocket where they have normal soil and watershed conditions right now. So we really needed today's rain, and we do have more rain in the forecast. We had our big rain today, and then as we look out to the future here, Friday going on into Saturday is the next chance of rain in southern Wisconsin. May start as early as Thursday. With that, again, the price to pay warming up. We have the rain shower chances and the thunderstorm chances, but we do need that water because we need to bring down that moderate drought as we approach the month of April. If it starts getting warmer, planting season starts up sooner, and we need to get that watershed replenished.
You and I, we were talking earlier this evening. I moved here in the summer of 23, and pretty much the entire time I've been here, there's been some type of drought in the state. So I understand just how much we need this water to keep on coming down.
Indeed. Keep the rain coming. Maybe not any more snow, but whatever form of precipitation we can get to help farmers out and gardeners too.
Yeah, and it's that time of the year to keep the umbrella. That was my mistake earlier today. Was leaving out of the gym and got completely drenched as I was walking back to my car.
Yeah, right at noon the rain really started coming down, but it has since moved off to the east.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Alex. Hollywood history is up for grabs. More than 1,000 iconic movie props are on the auction block. As CBS's Chris Van Cleve reports, these treasures come with blockbuster price tags.
It wouldn't have been Top Gun without Maverick's iconic leather bomber jacket. Tom Cruise wore it, and now it can be yours. But that need for speed does not come cheap. Bidding starts at $25,000.
This auction has some wonderful pieces in it that are being seen for the very first time.
Brandon Allinger is the chief operating officer of Prop Store, who is conducting the auction of more than 1,300 props and scripts from some of Hollywood's biggest hits. Where does all this stuff come from?
The pieces in this auction have come from individuals who worked in the film industry. They've come from studios or production houses directly, all different industry avenues.
One of those avenues was director Randall Kleiser's attic, where for more than 4 decades, he'd kept the director's Bible from the classic 1978 movie, Grease.
Had me a blast.
What made you decide, like, now is the time to let it go to somebody else?
Because I just realized that my attic is filled with stuff that I don't need. Why have it up in the attic? You know, somebody might really, really love to have that original script.
In this auction, 2 Star Wars artifacts could push 7 figures. This is the Medal of Yavin Luke Skywalker wears at the end of A New Hope. What is it about Hollywood props that resonate with people so much so that they may drop 6, 7 figures to have it?
I think it is all about connection, and it's all about connecting with something that you love. The reason that they want to buy something is because this movie meant so much to them when they were younger.
The other big-ticket Star Wars item believed to be the one and only bowcaster Chewbacca used in all of the original trilogy. The effort to identify which film this pair of Charlie Chaplin's shoes came from took weeks.
Fortunately, there were some really nice, high-quality production stills from The Great Dictator. We could see some very specific marks and folds in the leather that set us on the course.
So you're looking down to the folds in the leather here. Hollywood treasures that could soon be yours. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Valencia, California.
Man, I'd sure like to get my hands on some of those. Coming up in sports, Andrew Bancher is in Minneapolis showing us how the Badger fared in the national title game against Ohio State. You could call it a best-of-3 series. 2 years ago, Wisconsin women's beat Ohio State in the national title game. Last year, the Buckeyes bested the Badgers, and today, Wisconsin had a chance at revenge. Our Andrew Bancher is in Minneapolis with more.
Do you believe in miracles? It looked like it was going to be another Badger heartbreaker in the national championship game, but in the final 18 seconds, trailing by a goal, the unthinkable happened. The Badgers got gifted a penalty shot and then capitalized. Kirsten Sims with some extra sauce. Are you kidding me? The equalizer to send the title game to overtime. And in the free period, Wisconsin came up clutch again. Kirsten Sims does it again with ice in her veins. Her second career game winner in a national title game as the Badgers secure their record-breaking 8th national championship.
It still hasn't really totally set in with me, and at the end of the day, I'm just super happy that we're bringing that trophy back to Madison. I mean, no matter how the job got done, it got done, and we're taking that trophy home with us, and this is such an incredible group, and that's all I can think about.
It's all been worth it because, you start with this blank canvas at the beginning of the year, and then you start to paint this picture of what the year is going to look like and what's going to transpire. And then we get to the end and you're playing the national championship game, and here's this picture, man. It's looking really good. It's not quite complete yet. And until it's complete, do you get to sign it? And then you either put it up on your wall or you put it out for sale or you let people look at it. And so today, we got a masterpiece.
Mark Johnson told me after the game that he was still trying to process the emotions of what transpired in those final 18 seconds, adding, "I'm just happy that we got that championship trophy back to Madtown. Today is a good day." At Ritter Arena, Andrew Banstra, News 3 Sports.
Right?
I am,
How
yes.
do you feel about them winning the Natty?
I was disappointed.
You were disappointed they won the Natty?
Oh, no, I thought you were talking about...
Not the basketball team, the women's hockey team.
Sorry, no. Elated for them. So,
yes.
Yes, sorry. It's been a long day for me.
It is all good. It's all good. So what should we expect heading into the work week?
Yes, work week, we're going to start off with breezy conditions. Temperatures right around 30 degrees to start off Monday, and as we go on into the rest of the day on Monday, sun is going to be coming on out, especially for areas south and west of Madison. Temperatures up near 50, and then we track rainy conditions at the end of the week, and highs back up to near 60 degrees.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Alex, and thank you all for joining us. Go get some rest. We'll see you back here tomorrow.